some more.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Chronic Gamer, and you already know what it is by the title. Today I'm going to be reacting to episode 1 of Fate Zero. This won the short anime poll that I did about a month or so ago. Sorry it took so long to get around to starting this one, but I will be starting it right now. I will be watching the dub. As everyone who's seen my videos before knows, I prefer dubs. It's personal preference, so sorry if you like watching things in subs. That's probably not how I'm going to be doing my anime on this channel unless a dub isn't available. I'll most likely be watching the dub. Even if it's not as good, I still prefer the dub because I don't want to read subtitles, especially for the sake of reactions. So yeah. Today we're going to be watching Fate Zero. I know absolutely nothing about this show, just like I didn't know anything about Inuyasha. I know even less about this show. I don't know the premise. I don't know anything about the characters, anything about it at all, really. So this will be completely blind for me. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but here we go. Okay, sorry for the obvious cut here. I was just about to start the video. I had it all queued up and ready to go, but I also wanted to say I noticed that this first episode is around 45 to 50 minutes long. I may end up cutting it into two pieces, a part 1 and part 2. I probably won't normally do that, just because this is the pilot episode of this show. And me cutting things up for fair use, I may end up doing 2 parts for this episode. So I don't think all the episodes are this long. I think it's just the first one. But yeah, sorry for the cut there. I just wanted to make that known that I might be cutting this up into 2 pieces.
Hiritsugu, don't forget. You're striving to make a whole new world where no one cries. This is what your whole life has been about. 8 more years, and your fight will come to an end. And our ideal will become reality. The Holy Grail will save you. I'm certain of it. So take this child, Iliasfil, and hold her close.
I am gonna have such a hard time remembering their names.
Like any other father would be.
Holy Grail, huh?
The Holy Grail War. The battle for an ancient relic that performs miracles. But why me?
Normally, those chosen by the Grail as masters for the servants are experienced and accomplished mages. It is highly unusual for someone like you, who has no connection to magic whatsoever, to be chosen to participate.
Heroic servants. I still find it strange to command the summoned spirits of ancient heroes to fight as familiars.
Of course.
Is that
I know all this can be very difficult to believe.
That's Crispin.
Heroes from every age and nation will come back to life in the modern world.
Oh shit, what's his name? Crispin
Supremacy.
Freeman or something? I think that might be his name.
That is the Holy Grail War.
Also, there is an unspoken agreement among all involved to keep this all secret. To ensure this rule is kept, someone of the Holy Church is always sent as an observer.
Actually, we found proof a long time ago that the Holy Grail that will appear in Fuyuki is not the sacred relic that belonged to the Son of God.
So I gathered. Otherwise, in order to retrieve it would have been given to us of the 8th Sacrament Assembly.
Be that as it may, Fuyuki's Holy Grail is far too powerful to ignore. It is an omnipotent wish-granting device. Who knows what disaster it could unleash, should it happen to fall into the wrong hands.
In which case, the best course of action would be to ensure that the Fuyuki Grail falls into the right hands, hands that would not misuse it. You must go to Japan and study the principles of magic. and become a mage of sufficient strength and skill to command a servant in the Holy Grail War in 3 years' time when the battles begin.
Cool.
Now then,
Do you have any questions for us, Kirei?
Only one. How exactly does the Holy Grail go about selecting its masters? What kind of criteria does it use?
The exact criteria it uses is unknown, but it chooses those masters who need it most.
So all the participating masters have a reason to covet the Grail?
Not necessarily. I'm told that in the past, there were cases where command seals appeared on those whom you would never have expected. Oh, I think I understand. You're still puzzled at being chosen to be a master by the Grail, aren't you?
Sakura is... well, she's no longer my daughter or Reen's little sister.
What?
She's now with... the Mato family.
But why?
The Matos want a child who carries in them the blood of a mage. You know why, better than anyone else. The head of the Tosaka family decided to give our ancient allies, the Matos, that which they requested. It wasn't my place to speak out.
You're all right with that?
When I married into the Tosaka family, when I decided to marry a mage, I knew what might be required of me.
And you're all right with that?
The reality is that a clan bearing mage blood can never expect to enjoy the happiness of a normal family.
Karia, had you only agreed to carry on the family name and to learn the secrets of the Mato, things would never have gotten this bad and that little girl would still be with her mother.
You're not fooling anyone, you vampire. You only want the Grail to give yourself eternal youth. You just want to live forever.
Nearly 60 years have passed since the last time the Masters gathered, but the Matos have no pawns yet to offer for the Fourth Holy Grail War. Though you have it inside you, your brother Byakuya lacks the power needed to control a servant. But even if we forfeit this round, we could still win the next in 60 years, if we prepare ourselves.
Next year I will return from the Grail War, Grail in hand. And in return, you will release Sakura.
Don't be a stupid idiot. You're a failure and you haven't trained a day in your life. You actually believe that in a single year you'll achieve the power to control a servant?
You have the secret magic to make that happen and you know it. Using your special worm techniques.
What the fuck is happening?
So,
You can implant me with your crest worms.
Karia, you want to die. If what you're trying to do is keep her out of all this, Karia, I'm afraid you're a little late.
You bastard! You didn't.
For the first 3 days in there, she did nothing but constantly scream her head off. But on the 4th, she settled down and finally stopped. Early this morning, I threw her down into the worm pit to see just how long she'd last. She's been in there for over 12 hours, and she's still breathing. The Tosakas have very powerful inner spirits.
Sakura!
What will you do now? She's a broken little girl, ripped from the life she knew, and violated by worms from head to toe. But if you still wish to save her from this ordeal, I might be willing to think about it.
I agree.
You can start by serving as their breeding ground for a week. If you don't die or go insane, then I'll concede that you're actually serious and will keep my word completely.
This is so weird and gross.
Is that any way for a teacher to act? Reading my paper made him jealous and he couldn't handle it. The pompous ass is afraid of my talent. That's why he embarrassed me in front of everyone. Whoa!
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you all...
How do you walk into this guy without noticing him there?
Okay, sure, why not?
Just make sure he gets it. It's supposed to be important.
It's important? Package origin, Macedonia? seems that all the rumors about that bastard Kenneth Archibald preparing to fight in some kind of mages tournament in the Far East soon are true. The Holy Grail War. According to the legend, 200 years ago, the Einsburns, the Makiris, and the Tosakas, collectively known as the Three First Families, worked together to summon the Holy Grail, said to have the power to grant any wish, and eventually succeeded. But the Holy Grail would only grant one of the family's supplications. Their cooperation quickly turned to violent and bloody conflict. That was the beginning of the Holy Grail Wars. Ever since then, once every 60 years, the Holy Grail appears in the city of Fuyuki. It selects 7 mages from across the globe to compete for it and grants them powers. Each magically summons a heroic spirit known as a servant. Archer, saber, lancer, rider, assassin, caster, berserker. Divided into these 7 classes of warriors, the servants, guided by their masters, fight each other to the death in secret battles to determine who is worthy to win the Grail. So it appears that this Grail War is a battle of pure strength, where stupid titles and influence mean absolutely nothing. That looks like it's the perfect place for me. Wait. In order to summon a servant, some kind of relic related to them is needed to act as a catalyst. A relic?
Whoa, how did I get here and why am I wearing these clothes? Oh, you just finished part 1 of episode 1 of Fate Zero. That explains it. I'm cutting this into 2 pieces, so I'll catch you next time with part 2.